Thanks Sailey for sponsoring this video. Tonkotsu Ramen, probably one of the most iconic foods in Japan. And on my recent visit there, I had the chance of trying the best of the best. And it was incredible. Ever since then, I've been obsessed with it. And after several different trials, today I'm going to show you how I made this incredible dish better. To be quite specific, better than the Japanese version, at least to me. So enough talking, let's begin. In order to have a good ramen, the first thing we need is the broth. And for Tonkotsu Ramen, the first thing we need is this, pork bones, a good amount of it. And the first thing to do is to throw everything into a big pot, followed by a good amount of water. Now it's time to let it simmer, and as it's doing so, you're gonna get a lot of scum. That's these nasty things that comes out on top. You gotta get rid of it. After about 1 hour, you wanna go ahead and strain the bones, and you're left with something like this, which you gotta discard it. Because now that the bones are super clean, throw everything back into the pot, add some clear water back in, followed by the aromatics. I'm using ginger, onion, and green onions. The next step is patience. You want to let this simmer for 12 hours. And once the time is up, take a look. Everything has broken apart. The only thing left to do now is to strain it as much as possible. Make sure you get every single ounce of that liquid, because in the end, you are left with this, the most delicious broth you can have. Now notice one thing, there's no salt or seasoning at all, because now we're gonna take care of that. And the first thing to do is to create a dashi. So for that, you add some hot water to the pot, followed by some kombu, which is dry seaweed, and some bonito flakes. Now the water is already hot, but my heat is completely off. You don't want to boil your dashi, because after 10 minutes in the hot water, go ahead and strain it, and this is what you're left with. But we're not done yet, as we're going to be using this to make tare. And it's quite simple. So into a bowl, you add dashi, followed by mirin, dark soy sauce, and some salt. Now mix everything well, and there you have it. This is your tare. Now to make the traditional Tonkotsu Ramen, you first add in some tare into the bowl, followed by that delicious broth that was just made. And for a true comparison, I'm going to be doing two versions. This one is the traditional version on the green bowl, and on the white bowl, I'm going to be doing my take and showing you why it is so much better. So the next thing to add is the noodles. For the Tonkotsu Ramen, I'm going to be using these. They are white ramen noodles. And for the Guga version, we're going to be using something different. They're pretty identical. The only difference is the color. You just got to cook them up as the instruction says. And when you're done, add them to the ramen bowl. Next up, we're gonna go with some toppings. And you can't have ramen without eggs. For the traditional Tonkotsu Ramen, I'm just boiling the egg exactly how they gave it to me in Japan. Not fully hard, but almost hard. For my version, we're gonna go to a whole nother level. It starts exactly the same, but then we're gonna marinate it. For that, into a bowl, I added some gochujang, followed by some chili oil, sriracha, and soy sauce. Now mix everything well until it's fully combined, and you should be left with something like this. All there's left to do is to throw them in there, make sure they're fully covered, and once they're marinated about 4 hours, into the bowl they go. The spicy egg is definitely a showstopper. The next thing to add are some vegetables. For the tonkotsu, we went with bok choy and mushrooms. You just gotta steam them well, and once they're done, add them to the ramen. Now for my version, I'm also going to be using mushroom. However, we're going to deep fry this thing. And for that, I'll be using tempura batter. And to make it, it's quite simple. Throw the batter into a bowl, followed by some sparkling water. Mix it well until you have this consistency. Then I'm going to be using these mushrooms. They're called enoki mushrooms. All you have to do is to add them to the batter, make sure they're fully covered, and fry them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it's golden brown, take them out, let it strain, then immediately add it to the bowl. To keep things healthy, I also added some bean sprouts, followed by adamame, because the next step is the most important one of them all, and that would be the meat. And for tonkotsu ramen, I'm going to be making a char siu, which sounds really complicated, but in reality it's not. First thing you need is a pork belly. With skin on is better, but if you don't have skin on, skinless will do. Now you want to roll everything up and tie it up as tight as possible. Using butcher's twine makes the job easy. Once it's ready, into a bowl you want to throw in some green onions, followed by garlic, ginger, a good quality sake, followed by Shaoxing wine, takara mirin, dark soy sauce, and a cup of water. Then throw the pork belly in there, base the top so that it gets nice and wet, cover it up, and into the oven it goes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to cook it for about 1 hour. As once that's done, immediately take it out, put it on a cutting board, and let it rest for a little bit. And in the end, you are left with this. It is absolutely delicious. The skin is not crispy, it's actually nice and chewy, which for this application is perfect. However, I highly recommend putting a nice sear with a torch before adding it to the ramen, as once you have done so, that goes into the bowl, a tiny bit of nori, and to finish it up, some green onions. onions. This is my take on Tonkotsu Ramen. But now, even though this is fantastic, let me show you my version. The next ingredient to add is this, steak. But not only that, you gotta serve it with an additional sauce. And to make it, it's quite simple. First, add some of my chili oil, followed by soy sauce, honey, hoisin sauce, and mix it well. To finish it up, add some green onions, mix it a little bit more, and there you have it. Nice and simple steak sauce. Talking about steaks, these are the ones that I'm going to be using. It is a beautiful Wagyu picanha, and as you can clearly see, has incredible marbling. For the seasoning, you want to keep it quite simple. Only use salt, nothing else. Because the key here is to cook it to perfection. And for that, first you want to put a nice wonderful sear. Once that's done, you want to cook it in indirect heat until it reaches an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And for that, I'll be using my wireless thermometers. Once they're fully cooked, I'll bring them inside. It's time to slice these steaks and check out that medium rare perfection. That's what I'm talking about. All there's left to do is to add these beautiful steaks to my ramen, followed by corn, scallions, and my ramen is done. Say hello to Guga style Tonkotsu Ramen. But the question is, how will this stack up with the traditional version? Well, we're about to find out right now. Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, Saili. Y'all know how much I love to travel. I have gone country to country across the world on the hunt for the best cuisines in the planet. An absolute essential when I touch down on a foreign country is the internet. How else I'm going to look for the nearest steakhouse when I get off the plane? Look, if anyone knows the hassle of getting off the plane and having to look for a store in order to get a SIM card, is me. That's why I'm partnering with today's sponsor, Saili. Saili is an eSIM service app that connects you to the internet in over 160 countries and 8 regions. With just one download, you can skip the line at the airports in all these countries without the worry of buying fake SIM cards. They offer a variety of affordable plans based on your travel plan and budget. One of my favorite features is that I don't have to constantly be looking out for public Wi-Fi spots. With Saili, I stay connected 24/7. What are you waiting for? The time is now to get an exclusive 15% discount on Saili's eSIM CTA data plans. Download the Saili app on the link in the description below and use code GUGA at checkout. Well, everyone, I just touched down in Dubai, so I'm going to be browsing the web for some restaurants in the area. Thank you, Saili, for sponsoring this video. Make sure you guys check them out because now, let's get right back to it. All right, everybody, and here we got our beautiful... What do you guys think? I want to know.
I feel like I'm in Naruto right now.
This is like a beautiful meal. Just the different colors.
Visually only, which one you guys prefer?
This one.
Damn.
Steak, bro. You got some steak
Oh,
in
because
there.
of the steak. Oh my God.
You got some fried stuff?
Some fried mushroom, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. The excitement went away real quick.
It looked good for a little bit.
Listen, judge about the taste. So we're gonna start with this one. This is one more traditional, and then this one right here is my version of it.
And what's this, Gu?
So that is for the sauce. That goes only with the steak, okay? I'm gonna put you a little bit of this wonderful, beautiful broth.
Wonderful and beautiful?
Yeah. We're gonna get you one char siu, and then we're gonna get
Oh, yeah. Noodles.
Angel's so ridiculous, man.
broth and then char siu.
Okay.
Enough talking, let's give it a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Too big for you, Leo? I want to know your opinion. I know you couldn't eat it because it was too big for you, Leo. Are you okay?
I'm still chewing.
Let me tell you, it's amazing. Like, flat out. It's super, super savory. And then you go for the char siu, bro.
Very rich.
I prefer to eat this with no tools, Guga. Just,
Yeah.
I love ramen, and this has such a deep, rich flavor to it. It's salty, it's savory, it's a little bit umami. Then you have these other beautiful toppings on top, like that char siu. It has such a nice, in-your-face flavor. I haven't even tried the egg yet, because I don't know if I can hold it, to be honest with you. Oh, man.
You having a good time?
Bro, the egg with all of this, just having the yolk with char siu and noodle and broth.
It's an amazing combination.
Everything plays together so well. It is such a delicious bite, you're not gonna forget.
Absolutely delicious. Highly recommend you giving a try to tonkotsu. But now I want to know how good or how bad it works with some steaks. Let's give it a try, okay? Now check out the color of the noodle of this one.
Damn.
What?
It started out black and then it became purple. I don't ask me why. I don't know.
Is there a crazy experiment going on here?
No, not at all.
Earlier you said you Gugafied this.
Yeah, GUGAFOODS it by adding steak.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. So I recommend putting a little bit of the steak sauce right on top. Just a tiny bit. Don't exaggerate. Enough talking. Let's give it a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh, man.
Why steak makes everything better.
I don't think there's a single thing that steak doesn't improve.
I mean, char siu, the traditional version, is fantastic, everybody. But this is on a whole nother level.
The steak is perfectly cooked. It's an absolute beautiful piece of steak, but that steak sauce is so different. It's savory, it's slightly sweet. It's so perfect to pair with the steak. That alone is magnificent by itself. I'm a huge fan of this one because there's so many different textures. You have a little bit of bite from the onions, you have the soft noodles, the super runny broth, plus a little bit of crispiness from the fried mushroom. I mean, this is very unique. There's so much going on here. It's hard to just focus on one thing.
That noodle has such a different texture compared to the first one that we tried.
Yeah, it does.
It's almost like a whole different type of ramen.
Absolutely fantastic. You don't want, this guy don't want to, wait, you're eating the mushroom. And then?
It's good. It's real good.
That's how you trick people of eating things they don't like, everybody. You just put a lot of batter on and then you deep fry it. It works every time. Is this unanimous? Which one you like better?
This one, the Guga version.
Give it a try. You're not gonna regret it. Let me know in the comments down below if you would have done anything different. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Remember, everything I use is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.